Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an entire face of, so I guess a full face of first impressions from makeup from the drugstore. And I think there's only one thing I had to order online, but it was still like super affordable. So everything else came from the drugstore. So if you guys would like to see me put all these products to the test and hear what I like and what I don't like, just go ahead and keep on watching. So the first thing that I'm going to be using that I've never tried before, which I've never tried any of these things, so maybe I shouldn't say that before every product. Anyway, so for primer, I'm going to be trying this NYX Honey Do Me Up primer, and it looks like this. It has little gold flakes in it. And I have a couple other products that are similar to this, but I've never tried this one. And this one says the honey in it is a natural antiseptic. The gold flakes increase skin radiance and collagen for smoother skin. It's a skin serum and primer. So I don't know if this is going to be enough for primer, so I guess we'll find out. Let's go ahead and open it. It looks like there's like a little spatula. I'm not really sure how much to use. So it has a spatula, if you can see here, so I guess I'm just going to paint it on my face. I mean, I'm the only one using this, otherwise I would suggest not putting it on your face directly and then putting it back in there because of germs and everything, but it definitely feels like a serum. It has like a really clean smell to it. It is getting pretty sticky. So the foundation that I'm going to be trying out is a matte foundation. So I wanted to try this, and I've had this, I've just never used it. This is from Revlon, and it's the Photoready SkinLights Face Illuminator, and this is in the shade 100 Bare Light. There are, I think I got all of them, 4 different shades, I believe. I hope they still sell this. I'm not sure. But I have swatched these, and they're really pretty. And I think they're a really good alternative to the Becca, what are they called? Not the backlight primer, but like the liquid highlighters. I'm not sure what they're called, but I think this is a good alternative to it. And I'm just gonna place this everywhere. I mean, I can kind of see a difference, but not really. So for foundation, I got the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Mousse Foundation, and it looks like this. I got a lighter shade and then kind of like a medium shade. So this shade right here is 010 Light Porcelain. And then this shade right here is 201 Classic Beige. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand so we can see like what the shade is. Ooh, it's really thick. Is this full coverage? It says lightweight shine control. Feather light liquid mousse blends flawlessly for natural looking all day shine control. Silky smooth formula leaves a perfectly matte baby soft finish. Lightweight texture won't feel heavy or greasy. So that's what the bottle says. So this is really light. This is light porcelain, and that's gonna be like, that's like white. It's kind of white with like a little pink, so that's not gonna work. Maybe we can put this on the center of our face. And then the other one is the 201 Classic Beige. So I guess I'm gonna go in with this one. That's 201 Classic Beige, and that one still looks a little dark. I feel like it looks way better on camera than it does on the back of my hand. On the back of my hand, it looks pink. So I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Beauty Blender first, and I'm just going to take off the back of my hand and maybe just press it in. It's super pink. Weird. I'm like so weirded out because when I look in the mirror, it looks pink, but when I look through the viewfinder, it looks like it's like a really good shade match. I don't really like the texture. I wonder if this is like the same kind of texture from the Loreal, like the new Loreal foundation that's out. I don't know, I think I prefer a liquid over a mousse. I mean, it is making my skin look pretty soft, like it said. I just, like, to me, it looks like icing. Like, I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Morphe G36 and see what we can get. I don't know. I think I prefer it with the sponge. So that side's with the brush, and then that side's with the Beauty Blender or the Real Technique sponge. Add a little bit more onto this side. Okay, I lied. I think I like it better with the brush. And the color I think is still off, even though it looks okay like in the viewfinder. But like I said, up close it looks like there's like a lot of pink undertone, and look, it's like clinging to my baby hair right here. I don't know. Yeah. It's making all my little like face hair right here that I've never noticed before like all stick up. Like it looks like I have a beard. For concealer, I'm sticking with Rimmel, and I'm going to be trying out this Rimmel Match Perfection Skin Tone Adapting Concealer. And this just says it's a 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter, and I got the shade 125 Fair. It's one of those like brush tips. I don't really like that, but I'm not using a corrector because I don't have a new one to try out. This brush tip reminds me of the LA Girl Pro Concealer, which I like the LA Girl Pro Concealer, but I hate the tip, and this is like the exact same thing. So I'm just going to be using my Japanese 915 brush. It's a concealer brush, and I'm just going to try to blend that in and see. I feel like I get the most coverage from concealers when I use a brush as opposed to a damp sponge. So since we aren't using a corrector, I figured I would use the brush. So it blended out really nicely. I kind of like it. Maybe I would repurchase it if they changed the packaging, because I don't like that brush tip. So now I'm just going to go over with my sponge just to make sure everything is blended. So I'm going to be trying out this little guy here. And again, it's just a white powder, so let's try this. Yeah, I think it took away some of the brightness from the concealer, if you can tell the difference. The side I set and the side I didn't. I don't know if I really like that. My concealer, like this might be a good powder to kind of like put all over your face to set your foundation. I don't know about the under eye. Let's just keep it moving and we'll see how it looks throughout this whole process. So moving on to brows, and I already took most of the stuff out of the packaging because I have really long nails, so it takes longer for me to get the stuff out, and I didn't want to do that during the video. So I went ahead and took this out, and this is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. It says it's the Ultra Fine Tip Shaping Pencil. I got mine in the shade Blonde. So you have the spoolie, and then you have the product on the other side, like any other typical brow pencil. And normally I'm like a pomade kind of girl, and then I switched to powder because I feel like I have more control when I use the powders. I haven't used a pencil in a hot minute, let me tell you. So this is either gonna go really good or really bad. Okay, so it looks like the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I really like the color. The color is like the perfect shade for me. So I always start at the front, and then I will start like kind of in the middle, just so I can get like the bottom outline done. So this isn't super pigmented, which is probably a good thing because you can't get too crazy with it. And I also feel like it's having a hard time like sticking to the tail of my brow. It definitely feels a little bit waxy. Like I feel like the Anastasia one just feels like an eyeliner almost. Like it doesn't feel very waxy, and this one feels like there's like a lot of wax in it. So I'm just gonna go in with this spoolie. Just kind of work that product around. Now that point when you start to get crazy with your eyebrows, like, you know, when you should just fill them in a little bit and they look okay, and it's like the second you try to make them like ultra perfect is when you start messing up. So I'm just gonna leave them like this for now. And I want to try this out. This is from Chella, I believe, and it's the Ivory Lace Highlighter. And I think it came in my Ipsy bag, so it's kind of like drugstore, right? Because you pay $10 for the Ipsy bag and you get 5 products or whatever. So if it's not, and if it's expensive, I'm sorry, I'm not sure, but I kind of want to like try this out. And it's just this pretty nudie concealer shade. So I'm just gonna do that underneath my brows and see. So to set my brows, I don't have anything new from the drugstore to set, so I'm just going to be using my Benefit Gimme Brow. My face actually doesn't feel that sticky, but I do have this Physicians Formula Illuminating Power Duo, and it looks like this. I'm probably not going to use this brush because I took it out and it was really rough. But I think I'm just going to take the number 2, which is like the darker shade that's in this, and I'm just gonna set my whole face with it. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, so it's either gonna be really good, maybe like Bare Minerals, or really bad, so we'll see. This is in the shade Natural Beige. So at the top you pull off the brush and then you can pull up one side at a time to get your color. So number 1 is a little bit lighter than number 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for number 2, and we'll see how that goes. So that's what it looks like. It kind of has the same shade as the Airspun powder, so I'm just going to use my Too Faced Teddy Bear brush. To give me any extra coverage or luminosity or anything like that, and it definitely says Illuminating Power Duo, so maybe I just need to put on some more, but anyways, so moving on to bronzer, I'm going to be using this NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Face Powder, and it just says it's in the shade 720 Sunny. And this is what it looks like. I heard it's supposed to be a dupe for Benefit Hoola, but I'm not sure. I do have Hoola, so maybe I could test them next to each other. But this reminds me of the Rimmel matte bronzer, so we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that on. And I'm using my Morphe E3 brush. I really like this brush for bronzer. I like the shade of it though. I mean, I feel like if you were any more fair than me, it would probably be more of like a contour shade. Like I think it would be way too dark. And like I heard that the only place that I would find NYC was Walmart, and I heard that they're not selling it there anymore, so if they aren't, that scares me because I actually like NYC, especially the liquid liner. Like I remember using the liquid liner 5 years ago, I think. So to contour, I'm going to take this L'Oreal Glam Bronze, and this is the darkest shade. It's called 01 Deep. And I actually found this at clearance at Target for like $3. I peeled off the sticker, but it was like $3, and I'm pretty sure full price it's like $15. So I'm gonna be trying that, and I did swatch it, and it is really, like on camera it looks kind of a normal, but when you swatch it, watch, it's like super gray. Like you can see the gray undertone in it on my hand. So I figured it'd be like the perfect color to contour with, but it's kind of like a gray red, so it makes me a little nervous. But hey. So to contour, I'm just going to be taking my my contour brush from Real Techniques. I'm just going to dab it in there once. See? Ooh. It's really pigmented. Yeah, it is a little red, I feel. That's weird though, because I feel like it looks kind of gray on the back of my hand. On the skin, it's pulling a little red. Then I always like to go back in with my bronzer brush and just kind of swirl them all together. So whenever I contour my forehead, I just like to kind of like put the product in the areas closest to my hairline and move it back. And then I like to go in with my bronzer brush and blend it out. So I just kind of like to place it and then blend it with that. So that's what I'm doing here. And blend everything together. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this for contour. I mean, it seems like it's working out, but I have mixed feelings. The nose. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't think this is gonna work as a nose contour. Oh my god. It's like red. Okay, so scratch that. That does not work for a nose contour. So for eyes, I'm going to be trying out this NYC Lovatics by Demi. And this is what the palette looks like. It says this is just the 020 Natural palette. I'm going to go in with the third shade over. Right here. This looks like a good transition shade and it's matte. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm just going to be using my Sigma E40. Oh. And I'm just going to dust that into the crease. It was pretty powdery, but it looks pretty pigmented. So I'm going to be taking this shade right here. It's another matte shade. It's more of like a gray tone tan color, and I'm just going to be working that directly into the crease. This one is definitely not as powdery as that transition shade. Like there's not a lot of kickback at all. And this is a Sigma E25. And then to deepen up the crease, I'm going to go in with the next matte shade in the palette. And it's this shade right here. So third one over. I'm just going to use the same brush. Looks pretty dark. And I'm just going to start on the inner corner and like kind of work it over. It's like I feel like whenever I watch makeup tutorials and they're like, oh, do this, make this C shape, make this, you know, whatever shape, and do this and this, and like I just put it there. I don't know. Like I really don't have like a certain way I do my makeup. I just kind of just do it. I don't know. I mean, that's really pigmented, so let's go back in with the blending brush and kind of blend all these together. I think I'm gonna go back in with that first transition shade we used, and I'm just gonna go a little bit around it like so. I really like that first shade. Like I feel like I would use it for a transition shade even if I didn't want to use the whole palette. So I just grabbed a little bit of the shade I'll show you in a second on my pinky finger, and I'm just gonna put that directly on my lid and see. I have to get these nails off. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so I went in with this shade right here with my pinky finger, and I'm putting that all over the lid. Kind of chunky. Yeah, it's like really chunky. I am not one to do my eyes first, but using this palette, I feel like you almost should do your eyes first. So this shade right here, and I'm gonna pop a little bit of that on the center. For mascara, I'm really excited about this. So this is from Loreal, and this is the Double Extend Beauty Tubes Mascara. Like, what? Like, how weird is that? So it's saying that tubes literally go on your eyelashes, so when you pull it off, the tubes are just gonna come off. Like, isn't that weird? Like, I don't know. It's super intriguing. I've never tried anything like this. Never, ever, ever, ever. And it's supposed to, it's a lash extension effect mascara. Weird, right? It says the tubes extend lashes by 80%. Long wearing, smudge proof, and easy removal. So you know when you like take off your mascara with eye makeup remover and just kind of leaves like black all over your eyes? Like I wonder if this is what's going to happen when I take this off tonight. I'm just curious, or if it's just going to be like super easy. So let's try this. I got mine in Blackest Black. So it just says step 1, nourish and protect. So that's what we're gonna do with the white side. And this says it's the Beauty Insider's Choice winner. You open it up, oh, and then you have like the white side. So this says a perfect base for tube application. Step 2, add as the mascara sets, it forms tubes that act like lash lengthening extensions. Apply step 1 to lashes and immediately follow with step 2. Oh, okay. I'm not really seeing like a dramatic difference as opposed to like my other mascaras. Like to me it just looks like it's doing the same thing. Maybe if we do this one faster since I waited, maybe that will help. I mean, I think going in immediately on this side, it helped as opposed to how I waited on this side to read the directions. This says the mascara tubes remove with plenty of warm water without the need for makeup remover. This says simply smooth the tubes away from lashes with your fingertips. So I tried to put on a second coat and I don't think it really did anything. I mean, I think it's a pretty mascara, but I definitely don't feel like it gave me 80% longer lashes. But mixing our transition shade and our crease shade together for the lower lash line. Then I'm going to go in with the darker matte shade that we used. So the third one over from this, and I'm just going to lightly put that on the lower lash line. Now I'm taking this Sigma E55 eyeshadow brush, or does it say shader? Oh, eye shading brush, and a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. I'm just going to spray it. So I'm going to be mixing these two shades together for my inner corner highlight. And then I'm just going to take that cream shade and run it underneath my brow. I'm just going to throw a nude eyeliner shade into my waterline. I very, very rarely put black on my waterline because I feel like it makes my eyes look really small. So I almost always use a nude. If I'm not using a nude eyeliner, by the way, this is from Sephora. And I've used it a lot of my videos. It's called Infinite Beige. If I don't use a nude, I always use Matte Coast Reach. Like that's the only other color that I like in my waterline. So moving on to blush, I'm taking this Ulta Velvet Blush in the shade Princess. It just looks like a nice like everyday color. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M403. I've been really liking this brush for blush because I feel like it's stiff enough to where it blends the blush for me. And I know I get kind of heavy-handed with blush, but I actually really like blush. I know some people don't, some people do, but I really enjoy it. And then I'm going to go in with this dual fiber brush that was in my drugstore haul, and I'm just going to blend that together into my bronzer. So this blush actually has like a little bit of sheen. I wasn't expecting that. So for highlighter, I'm going to be going in with Makeup Revolution Pro Illuminate highlighter in, I guess that's just the shade. It's humongous, and I'm pretty sure this was less than $5. And I just think it's really pretty and it's creamy too. Do you see how pigmented that is? It's crazy. And it's huge. Like you'll never use all of that. So pretty. So for lips, I'm going to be using the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade London, and it's just kind of like a red tone of brown shade. I've tried NYX lip liners in the past, but not the new Suede ones. So for lip color, I'm going to be trying out this LA Girl Matte Flat Finish Pigment Gloss, and this is in the shade Dreamy. It has kind of like a flat doe foot, like a paddle. I don't know what you would call that. Like I think it's a really pretty nude. I really like the applicator on that LA Girls matte gloss, and it did dry down. It is drying down. Ooh, it feels really lightweight and really good. Like, I mean, it's showing a lot of my lip lines, but I don't really mind. I'm gonna be trying out the Wet n Wild Photofocus setting spray, and when I sprayed this in my haul, my drugstore haul, if you haven't seen that, it's the video, a couple videos down from this one when this goes up, and it smelled like cinnamon. So let's go ahead and set our face. So this is the finished makeup look. I actually really like it. I was kind of worried. I wanted to do this on a day that I wasn't going to go anywhere just in case it was a total disaster, but it turned out pretty good. So let's go ahead and review everything that we tried out. So starting with the primer, the NYX Honeydew Primer, I didn't really notice a total difference. It was nice that it got super sticky, and like I think I will continue to use this with different foundations just to see if I like it more with maybe like a more dewy foundation or light coverage foundation, you know, because today we used it with a matte foundation. So I'm going to continue to use this. Then for foundation, we used these guys right here. I mean, I think it looks pretty nice. It did smooth out my skin. I feel like it it did exaggerate like my face hairs that I didn't even know were there, so I didn't really like that. But I think overall, with all the makeup on top, it does look pretty nice. I probably wouldn't repurchase it just because I did not like the texture. Like, that was weird. I did not like that. Moving on to the concealer. I do like the concealer. I think I would like it more if I had a corrector underneath like what I normally do, but I do like how it blended out, and I do like the shade, but I think it was more of like a light concealer coverage. Like, it was more of like a light coverage. It wasn't medium or full coverage by any means. The next thing we used was, I don't know, I'm going out of order, but this Physicians Formula mineral powder. I didn't like. It wasn't awful, but I didn't really like it, but I might continue to use it till it's gone just to set my foundation in the future. Again, I kind of like to use this kind of stuff, especially like foundation setting powders or whatever, with dewy foundations and matte foundations, just to see the difference. And using it on top of this matte foundation, I really don't think it did anything. So I want to try it out again with a dewy foundation. The Revlon Photoready SkinLights I think is really pretty, but I feel like it got kind of lost underneath the foundation. Again, it might look better with a dewy foundation or more of like a light coverage foundation. I do really like the color. It wasn't too sticky, and it dried fairly quickly, so it might be a good maybe mix in with your moisturizer, or mix in with the primer, or mix in with your foundation just to get a little bit more luminosity. I'm not sure, but I do think this is okay for the moment. The next thing that we have here is the Ulta translucent pressed powder. I was not very impressed. I think this would be good to throw in your bag to soak up like any oils if you get oily throughout the day, but I don't think that I will be using it again to set my under eye. Now we have the NYC bronzer. Love this. Love this. This was good. I would use this again. I really, really like it. So far, I recommend this for sure. The L'Oreal pencil, it was okay. It was okay. Would I repurchase it? Only if I was in a bind and I really needed something. I like it. I really do like the shade. Like, maybe I need to go a shade darker and I would like it even more. I just feel like I was having a hard time getting it to cling to my tails. Then this Chella Ivory Lace highlighter, the one I used to carve out my brows, I really did like this. This was good. The L'Oreal Glam Bronze in Deep. I liked it to kind of contour my cheeks. Did not work for my nose. It pulled super red. Again, I did get this for less than $5. It's on clearance, so I'm not like that mad at it. But I do have the other shades that I really enjoy. So maybe if you were a darker skin tone than me, maybe like more medium to deep skin tones, you'd probably really like this. The Ulta Velvet Blush in Princess. I like it. But do I see myself grabbing for it every day? Probably not. I do like there's like a little bit of sheen in it, and it's a good everyday color, but I think I prefer my peach color colored blushes opposed to this. The next thing we have is the L'Oreal Double Extend Tubing Mascara. I mean, I'll use it. Like, I think it would be good for those no makeup days. I did not see an 80% difference in my lash length, that's for sure. It'll be nice though if like throughout the day it doesn't bleed underneath, like how you get those black patches, so we'll have to see if it does that or not. I don't think I would repurchase this, but I will use it till it's gone. The next thing that I definitely like, I would recommend, is the Makeup Revolution Pro Illuminate highlighting powder. I really like it. It didn't seem to emphasize like any texture, anything, and it's huge, and it's like a really pretty white gold color, so I really did enjoy that. The next thing I have, the NYX liner, Suede liner in London. I like the shade. I didn't like that it kind of balled up when I was trying to like do my thing, you know, around my lips, but I do like the color. I might have to try out some of the other colors to see. This, I really did enjoy the LA Girl Matte Flat Finish Pigment Gloss. It's so comfortable and lightweight, like it makes me want to get the other colors, and it wasn't patchy at all, so I really do enjoy that. And then the last thing was the Wet n Wild Photofocus setting spray. I mean, right now I'm not gonna be able to tell because I just sprayed my face, but I don't really like the smell, but if it makes my makeup last, then I can deal with the smell, but I'm not sure if I would repurchase it unless I was in a bind again. So alright guys, so that concludes my video on these First Impressions Drugstore edition. I will see you guys in my next videos. Bye.